That's my lady, so it's like I'm proud of that. So it's like I'm not sitting here trying to juggle like how can I keep this under wraps. That's why I really started to like really fall for her, was how genuine she is around just like friends, family.
All right, Swifties and football fans, buckle up because we're about to dive into a love story that's messier than a fumbled touchdown and juicier than any pregame gossip. Yes, we've all seen the headlines. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, the ultimate power couple, living their best lives. They're jet-setting, cheering each other on, and giving us all the stadium PDA we never knew we needed. On the surface, total fairy tale. But what if I told you their love story didn't start with sparks flying and hearts fluttering? Nope, according to Taylor herself, their very first meeting was anything but magical. Think awkward silences, missteps, and maybe even a little secondhand embarrassment. That's right, for the first time ever, Taylor is spilling the tea on how she and Travis actually met. And spoiler alert, it was a total disaster. So grab your popcorn and get comfy, because this behind-the-scenes story is one you do not want to miss. But before we dive in, make sure to smash that like button and hit subscribe so you don't miss the drama. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. It's totally free and helps us keep bringing you fresh content every week for your entertainment. All right, now let's rewind the tape and set the scene. It's 2023. Taylor Swift is taking over the globe with her record-breaking Eras Tour, and fresh off what the internet lovingly labeled a situationship with Matty Healy. Meanwhile, in Kansas City, Travis Kelce is doing what he does best, being a Super Bowl-winning tight end and hometown hero for the Chiefs. Then fate or tour scheduling intervenes. Taylor's tour rolls into Kansas City for a show at Arrowhead Stadium, right in Travis's backyard. And that's when things start to get interesting. Now, Travis, ever the confident charmer, decides he's going to shoot his shot. Not with a text or a DM, but with a friendship bracelet. Yep, a full-on Swiftie move. But here's the twist. Taylor, being the vocal-saving queen that she is, doesn't do meet and greets before or after her shows. So just like that, Travis's bracelet delivery plan hits a wall. But does he give up? Please, this is Travis Kelce we're talking about. Instead of sulking, he pulls a bold move. He brings it up on his podcast, New Heights, which he co-hosts with his brother Jason. And what he says? Well, let's just say it caught Taylor's attention, and maybe even planted the seed for something big. With his brother Jason, Travis puts Taylor on blast. Now, don't get it twisted, on blast sounds harsh, but it was all in good fun. Travis didn't drag her. He just playfully vented that he couldn't give her the friendship bracelet and was a little bummed she didn't stick around to meet fans. It was bold, flirty, and honestly, kind of genius. He basically said, "Hey, Taylor, I was there, I tried, but you were too busy being incredible." A low-key public shout-out wrapped in charm and cheekiness. And here's the plot twist. It worked. Taylor actually heard the podcast. Not only that, she liked it. In fact, she later told Time magazine that Travis's shout-out, yes, his words on that podcast played a major role in them eventually getting together. She even called it metal as hell. Let that sink in. Metal as hell from Taylor Swift. High praise if there ever was any, so there you have it. A missed bracelet, a podcast mic drop, and a sprinkle of metal. As hell attitude, and boom, that's how one of the biggest celebrity love stories of our time kicked off. Who knew a podcast episode could be the new Tinder? But hold up, we're just getting started. Because after that cheeky call-out, things started heating up fast. Things started moving fast, we're talking early August. Suddenly, Taylor and Travis were hanging out. But here's the sneaky part. They somehow managed to keep it completely under wraps. Yep, in a world where paparazzi live in bushes and fans, decode nail polish colors like CIA agents, Taylor and Travis pulled off the impossible. A secret romance. Taylor later admitted she was super grateful for that private time. They actually got to know each other without the internet breathing down, their necks analyzing every glance and angle. And let's be real, can you imagine the pressure of dating when both of you are megastars? Then came September 24th, 2023, the day the internet imploded. Taylor shows up at a Kansas City Chiefs game, decked out in red, cheering Travis on like a proud, supportive girlfriend. Naturally, everyone assumed this was their first date, their public debut, the hard launch of Iron Trailer or whatever couple name floats your boat, but not so fast. Taylor's here to clear things up. She later told Time, "We would never be psychotic." Enough to hard launch a first date translation. Come on, guys, give us a little credit. By the time Taylor was spotted in that VIP box losing her mind over a Travis touchdown, they were already official. That wasn't a first date, that was a girlfriend, supporting her boyfriend. Big difference, and honestly, that subtle shift says a lot. Because even in a world addicted to oversharing, these two managed to carve out a little space just for themselves, at least for a while. But let's be real, this whole thing could have gone sideways. What if Taylor wasn't as chill and down-to-earth as she seems? What if she hated that podcast shout-out and thought Travis was just clout chasing? It could have been a complete disaster. Let's be honest, territory. Travis could have easily been accused of clout chasing, using Taylor's name for attention, or acting like he was owed a moment with her. One wrong move and the internet would have roasted him for trying to force something that wasn't mutual. But here's the thing. Taylor didn't take it that way. In fact, she thought it was funny. Endearing even. And that reaction? It changed everything. Had she responded differently, this story might have ended before. It even started, and not in a way that would have done Travis any favors. It just goes to show how her response completely shaped the narrative, flipping it from awkward fanboy moment to the beginning of a modern fairy tale. All right, so we've heard Taylor's side of how it all went down, but now Travis is finally chiming in. And he's not spilling the tea on some random podcast. No, this is full Wall Street Journal energy. Classy, composed, but with just enough juice to keep us invested. In the interview, Travis opens up about those early days with Taylor and how their first official date came to be. And spoiler, it wasn't some casual, hey, wanna grab a coffee kind of thing. This date was planned. Like, carefully and intentionally. But here's the twist. Travis reveals that by the time they finally met up in person for that date in New York, they weren't total strangers. They'd already been talking, getting to know each other, laying the groundwork. So when that first date finally happened, he wasn't nervous. Not about the vibe, not about filling awkward silences, because as Travis puts it, they already had a connection. Travis wasn't just hoping for a spark, he knew there'd be one. He was confident they'd hit it off. And honestly, that kind of calm self-assurance before a first date with Taylor Swift, that says a lot. Why was he so chill? Simple, the connection had already started. Long before that New York meetup, they'd been talking, texting, building something solid. So when they finally met in person, it wasn't two strangers awkwardly testing the waters. It was two people picking up right where they left off, which is probably why they looked so natural together from day one. That podcast shout-out? Turns out it wasn't just a cheeky flirt. It was the opening move in what became something very real. I knew we could have a nice dinner and like a conversation, Travis said. And what goes from there will go from there. But while Travis was cool and collected, his inner circle, not so much. Everybody around me was telling me, don't F this up, he laughed. And I'm just sitting there like, yeah, got it. No pressure, right? So they went on the date and it went well. Like, really well. Score 1 for Team Kelce. But here's where it gets real. Even after that initial win, Travis was still on edge. Because the moment the world caught wind of Iron Trailer, the media went into full-blown meltdown mode. Paparazzi. Headlines. Think pieces. TikToks. And there's Travis, just a dude from the NFL, suddenly living in the Swiftiverse. He admitted he was constantly on high alert, terrified of saying the wrong thing. One slip, one misstep, and boom, the whole thing could unravel. He was walking a tightrope, trying not to mess up the best thing that had ever happened to him. He was second-guessing everything, carefully choosing every word, every sentence, just to make sure he didn't say something that might push her away. You can practically see it. Travis, usually so laid back and unfiltered, now overthinking every interview, every offhand comment, wondering, is this the one that ends up on a headline? Because when you're dating Taylor Swift, even the most innocent remark can go viral, get dissected, twisted, and memed within minutes. It must have felt like walking on eggshells, trying to be the perfect boyfriend, the supportive partner, all while juggling the pressure of a whirlwind romance under a global microscope. This wasn't just love, it was high-stakes love. One wrong step, and boom, viral backlash. Think pieces, TikTok drama. Honestly, it's a miracle he didn't walk away with a PhD in anxiety. But here's the heartwarming part. Travis didn't have to go through it alone. He revealed that there were people in her circle who were quietly rooting for him. People who knew Taylor and also knew him, and gave him that little nudge of support behind the scenes. There were definitely people in her corner who said, "Yo, did you know he was coming?" he shared. And it turns out, one of those people helped bridge the gap. Someone from Taylor's team actually reached out to him. She told me exactly what was going on. Travis said, and how I got lucky enough to get her to reach out. Lucky, sure. But also bold, honest, and willing to take a risk. And you know what? It paid off. Big time. Fast forward to now, they're head over heels, a power couple with real chemistry and living their best lives. So what do you think? Were you rooting for Taylor and Travis from the beginning? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you liked this video, don't forget to click that subscribe button and ring the bell icon so you never miss a new upload. I post celebrity deep dives like this every week, uncovering the untold stories behind your favorite stars. Until next time, stay curious.